conquered all of the internet. It's mine. It belongs to us.
Single organization that is primarily run by females is just a fest anyway.
And I sat there and I thought, how are women allowed to drive?
All we have to do is start putting numbers on girls' foreheads.
The smartest people in the world are men. Okay, correct.
Women are intrinsically lazy.
Perfected this in pimp school. When I got my PhD, we had the practice of a girl comes at you, shady, boom in her face, you grip her up by the neck, slap, slap, grab, choke, sex.
Andrew punched me. He used to strangle us as well. I saw him her.
Andrew Tate has been banned from Facebook and Instagram.
Were you arrested for human trafficking?
I was not arrested. So what happened is I suffered from a case of swatting.
Police in Romania raiding the home of controversial online influencer Andrew Tate. Inside the villa in Bucharest, they find an arsenal of weapons. Guns, knives, and stacks of cash.
Today we're going to talk about Andrew Tate. We're going to start with his webcam business back in around 2012, and we're going to run through to his incarceration in a Romanian jail. We're going to look in as much detail as we possibly can. We're not going to try and put any bias on it. I do have my opinions. I do think he's guilty of a lot of things. The rape and the human trafficking obviously does remain to be proven, but he has been incarcerated for 30 days and 30 days and 30 days. And his fans think that is because there's no evidence and it's just a system against him. Other people think it's a long and complex web of evidence which needs to be gathered from multiple countries. You can see both sides, I guess, in some ways. Women are coming out in support of him outside the courthouse, as this clip shows.
I came here to support the Tate brothers. I know them personally, I know them. They are amazing people, amazing man. And
how do you know them?
It's a friendship. It's a friendship.
And the Oscar goes to...
I think the friendship comment is particularly amusing. She obviously doesn't want to say how she knows the brothers. And it seemed like for a while his redemption arc was going to be successful. And you can kind of see where he was going with that in terms of his publicity. I mean, O.J. Simpson's got a career. Mike Tyson has a questionable background, but he seems to be okay. And Bobby Cummins has an OB or an MBE from the Queen, despite shooting people in the leg with a sawn-off shotgun and rock salt cartridges. You know, there are plenty of redeemed characters. People don't tend to come back from sexual crimes and rape. However, although Andrew is going to keep saying that evidence is thin on the ground, much like his hairline, something I can say as a balding man myself, but both him and Tristan have questionable heads of hair, that's for sure, as these images show. So this is an independent review of the evidence which is available online, and we're going to start with, like I say, the webcam business, and I'm going to start with a definition of the lover boy method as put forward by True Geordie. It's an official definition. And then we're going to run on from there into how his webcam business started and how it was run, and clips from a course which he sold to others. Let's get into it.
Loverboy or Romeo pimps are human traffickers who usually operate by trying to make young girls or boys fall in love with them. Sometimes they manipulate young people in other ways. Once they have victims under the influence, they exploit them, for instance, in the sex industry, like webcamming.
So then we do know that Andrew Tate started his webcam business, but he does give 4 varying accounts of how that started, so we're going to start there. Why can't you just tell the truth? That's what I need to know.
I was fighting, had some money. I had £70,000 in a safe in my bedroom in my house. I wanted to buy property in Thailand and move to Thailand. I needed 80,000 off 10 grand short, and I thought I'd go to the casino and make the 10, which is obviously we all know how that story went. So I lost 30, so now I need 40. Long story short, I invested in this place in Thailand, this property, which I still have now, which is not worth anything because it was virus and they closed the country, blah, blah, blah. And I needed to pay, I think it was like 400 grand, and I had a payment date, and I paid 300 grand, and I had to pay the last 100 grand, I only had 70 grand. Now, I was 30 grand short, right? So I went to the casino and lost all the money. Then I looked at my bank, I had like 3 grand, 4 grand in there, and I'm like, I'm giving up my entire life, and I don't even know how I'm gonna live. And the story is, and this is a completely true story, I'm sitting with my brother and I'm like, how can we get rich?
So I owed some money to some dangerous people. We won't tell that story.
Dangerous
but I needed money
people.
fast. And I had 70 grand, I needed 100 to stay alive. And I wasn't fighting for a while. That was the time, was the only way I was making money. So I thought, you know what? I'm sitting there. I had 70 grand cash in my house. I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes, Tate, God just loves you and you just get lucky. You're gonna go to the casino and you're gonna make the 30. So I told Tristan my plan. He's like, bro, what if you don't do it? I said, bro, if I don't do it, we're fucked anyway. Like, they're gonna get us eventually, we're gonna end up dead. So I took 20 of the money, went to the casino, and lost it all.
So 4 versions of exactly the same story of how he went from kickboxing to being in the webcam industry. Apart from not including how he flew 4 girlfriends out and all the rest of it. This is just the beginning. He needed 100 grand, he needed 70 grand, he lost all of it, he lost 30, he lost 20, he didn't own a property, he partly owned a property in Thailand, he owed some money to dangerous people. It's a story. Like a lot of things, it's just a story. Nobody knows whether it's true or not. It's probably not true.
What did you play in the casino?
Right, so I know the odds. I know that statistically the best odds are blackjack. And I know that you can memorize perfect strategy in blackjack, which I've memorized. So I know that you have the statistical best odds in blackjack.
This is just a clip, aside from the webcam industry, just to kind of highlight a bit of the bullshit that Tate dishes out and expects everyone to swallow.
If you memorize perfect blackjack strategy, which I've done.
What, counting cards?
It's not counting cards, it's just knowing when to hit, when to stick,
knowing when to hit, when to stand,
based on the
every
dealer's card
scenario,
showing,
yeah.
etc. But I prefer roulette. And the reason I prefer roulette, even though the odds are trash, is because I feel like in roulette, I have no control. So if I lose, I feel I have a clearer conscience because I just put the money down, I ain't got anything to do with it. Whereas if I hit when I go bust, it's my fault. And the fault annoys me.
So before this, he says, Tristan, if we don't do it, we're dead anyway. So his decision is going to the casino and gambling away his brother's life. Instead of playing the game which gives the best odds of saving his and his brother's life, he gambles that, but he claims he's not at fault because the roulette wheel's in control, even though he took the money to the casino in the first place. So he's gambling away his brother's life in this version of the story. It doesn't sound very good. It sounds like a lie for a start. But if you really cared and loved your brother, would you go to the casino and gamble it away? There are so many other scenarios you could do. Let's carry on into the webcam business and how it was run.
I was sitting there trying to find a way to make money. So how can I make money? I'm trying to buy a property. I mean, I didn't own a property in the UK at the time, so I didn't pay any tax to anyone. I didn't want to pay taxes, so I didn't buy a house to the firm.
It's publicly admitting tax avoidance. Tax evasion. Is that evasion? There's 2, tax avoidance and tax evasion. One of them is legal, which is this one. So your builder or plumber or whoever, tradesman, which is typically story, no offence to any of those groups of people, that will say, I'll do it cheaper for cash because I'm not going to declare the money. That is completely illegal. Moving money around through different companies, overseas, etc., typically, as I understand it, isn't illegal. What Andrew Tate is admitting here is that if he got paid for his fights, if he got paid for work or anything, he wouldn't declare it and pay tax on it, which is illegal. And he's saying that's why he didn't own a property, because he'd have to declare his income, he would have to declare it to HMRC, he'd have to pay tax on it, and it would be taken from him because he hasn't paid any tax. That is illegal.
Straight street pimping is completely... In fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same of what we're going to do. The skill I'm going to teach you is exactly the same. I could easily translate mine to a street business, and you could easily street pimp with the things I'm going to teach you. But I didn't want no one else fucking my girl. That's the truth. My girls. I want to fuck my girls. I want some other guy fucking my girls. What the fuck's the point in that? So
he's calling himself a pimp, but the only reason he wouldn't street pimp them is so that he could personally fuck them and have them all to himself. Not due to their emotional health, physical health, safety, the fact that soliciting sex on the street is illegal. As far as I'm aware, prostitution isn't illegal, but kind of soliciting, getting clients is illegal. But he's not interested in any of that. He just wants them all to himself.
Your goal is to inspire a girl to make money and give you the money.
Inspire the girl to make the money and give you the money.
So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence. And you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you.
Control, fear, coercion, manipulation. You make her believe that she needs you.
And this is extremely important. Because at the beginning, she will need you. But then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive, that she can't do this without you, to ensure that she doesn't do it without you.
Removing a person's freedom, their choice, by misinformation and control. Doesn't sound good, does it?
You cannot run this business through fear. And this is one of the biggest things people don't understand about the pimp game. Even street pimping. They think that you can do it through fear, that you can scare girls, and you can intimidate girls. If you're going to scare a girl and put her on the street, she's just going to walk off and leave and never see her again. She has to respect you and love you and want to work with you. And that's done through positively inspirational and motivating person.
Yes, positively inspirational, motivating person. Going back to the lover boy definition, she must love you, were his exact words, on this course which he's selling to others about how he ran his webcam business and how he is suggesting you should run yours.
Another reason we use Chatterbait is because they will pay you in Bitcoin. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult. So if you're a girl on there working, let's say you generate $3,000, $4,000, bang, you get Bitcoin into your wallet. Done. No fucking tax, no fault audit, none of that shit. So don't worry about any of that. None of that's going to come back to get you.
This is not financial advice, but that is illegal and incorrect. So if you're working in the UK, running a business in the UK, it doesn't matter what you get paid in. You get paid in Bitcoin, dollars, Ethereum, anything. You need to pay tax on that income. Now, crypto may make it easier to hide that income, but it doesn't make it legal. It doesn't make that good advice, and it does make Andrew Tate a criminal if that's what he did. There's no getting around that fact.
Tax. Going back to tax.
More tax.
Tax is also another important element for controlling a woman.
Instantly, you know this isn't going to be good. Another way of controlling your woman. Not your employee. These are obviously girlfriends. Or they're employees. I'm never sure.
You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. But you need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy. And girls are stupid. And girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It's a control element.
Control element aside, this is completely illegal as an employer. Also, some accountants that I've had over the years have been women, and they've been the best accountants, and they've been brilliant, and they've been amazing, and they've really helped out and grow and support our business. So it's complete rubbish, everything he's saying.
Secondly, it allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 13%. So for every $10,000 they made, I'd give them 3, and I'd keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, but we had to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50.
Completely criminal. Every offer letter, every contract should have clear terms and conditions and what the pay and the hours and everything else are going to be. This is not how it worked in this situation. He hasn't paid the tax. These women, girls are going to have no proper pension contributions when they're older. This is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50. Difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you or they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I used to do this all the time. I used to print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here, sign this. What is it? It's for the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Okay. And they just sign away. They don't know what the fucking signing. That's thrown away afterwards. They think something's happening. Something real's happening. Nothing's happening besides me getting rich, bitch.
And coercion and control and fraud and the manipulation and everything else is happening.
So you start this business with one girl only. One girl. Now, we're going to go back to street pimping terminology. The girl you start with is the most important girl. Because the girl you start with is going to be your bottom bitch. They call it your bottom bitch on the street. Your bottom bitch is the girl who collects the money from all the other girls and brings you the money.
Running webcams like a pimp, using lieutenants to get money from the other girls, control and coercion. I mean, there are some arguments that bottom bitch is also obviously a victim being controlled and manipulated, and she'll be in fear of being dropped into the general population of webcam girls again. Sounds a bit like Ghislaine Maxwell as well.
Well, when's the last time talking common sense to a girl has ever worked? Ever. If you're not fucking the girl, she is fucking someone else. And that other person she's fucking is going to have the control over her mind, as opposed to you.
So this is where this disparity is strange. It's like, are they girlfriends or are they employees? And it's quite clear that they're employees. They can't see other people. He doesn't want to have other boyfriends. He wants to keep the control over their mind. He's suggesting an inability to leave and have freedom and have their own personal life. Every process is designed to stop his employees, his girlfriends, doing what they want, because that would affect him and his business. There's no way he's paid wages, paid PAYE, paid any of the auto-enrollment pension stuff from that came in like 2012, 2013. This is just complete... He claims to be professional, but he obviously can't run a legitimate business.
She's going to run off. She's going to leave. There's no way, I did this business for a long time. There's no such thing as having girls who work for you who you've not fucked. It's impossible. You have to fuck them and they have to love you. It's essential to the business, because otherwise women have no loyalty. They have to be in love with you, which means you have to have sex with them.
Sounds like a Romeo pimp to me.
So this is why your bottom bitch is so important, because your bottom bitch is going to be there from the beginning, and if you ever want to grow the business, you have to be having sex with other women. And your bottom bitch has to understand that. So the dynamic you pull there with your number one girl, your bottom bitch, your first girl, is after you've been working a few weeks or whatever, after things are going well, sell them a dream. Sell them some dream, and we'll buy this big property in fucking the Bahamas. And she'll go, oh yeah, but where are we going to find girls from? I say, well, I'm going to find the girl, and I'm going to bring her to you, and you can tell her how good it is to work for me, and how great it is to do this webcamming thing, and how smart we are.
It does sound a bit like Ghislaine Maxwell. It also sounds a little bit like paedophile's method of driving around in a van with another child, so that the child they're going to take and abuse and God knows what else doesn't suspect and feels more at ease and feels like they can trust that person. It is a weird Ghislaine Maxwell paedophile type thing, isn't it? Get another woman to make that woman feel at ease and he's not a threat and that she should come and work for him. It's uncomfortable.
The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam.
Upselling other courses. The PhD course, how to get women. It's basically just pick-up artistry, rebranded and a bit more toxic. Layers of coercion, layers of control.
Let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. You, your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. So I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
Paedophile method, Ghislaine Maxwell. It's all the same. It's all the same.
My first girl was so good, it was easy. My girl would sit there and go, oh my God, before this I was a waitress and it was shit, and now I do this and I make so much money, and the guys all love me and they adore me, and on my birthday they send me presents, and I get so much money, blah, 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 it's so much fun, and we stay at home, and da-da-da-da, and we're gonna go to Thailand soon, we're gonna be working in Thailand, and we're gonna stay there for as long as we want, you should come with us, it's gonna be so much fun, da-da-da-da, martinis, 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 bang, threesome, bang, threesome, threesome, threesome.
Can you imagine the type of person who's paid for this course? Well, the person's paid for this course, and they're watching it away, going, yes, this is going to be me. This is what I want. This is my life. Fucking hell. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Slam them both. Your bottom bitch knows. This girl's like, okay, well, I'll try it. Put both girls on camera together the first day, so the new girl can sit there and just sit with the other girl and get drunk. Give them a bottle of vodka. Put on the fucking chatterbait. 100 tokens per shot. The guys will send loads of money to get the girls drunk, because guys like drunk girls. Girls will sit there, get drunk, have a great time. You say it's your new job now. You haven't go to work ever again. That's how you recruit girls.
By lying, cheating, getting them drunk, manipulating them. Watch this clip from the Vice interview and just see if there's any way that his version and this potential victim's version are the same.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine, so I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work.
Can you imagine your boyfriend or your employer doing that? I've never worked in webcam before. I've only ever worked at Morrison's. Oh, well, here's 5 bottles of wine. Get really drunk and that'll settle your nerves. Oh, by the way, get naked.
Or 2 years from now, I don't want you on camera. I want you typing and the other girls on camera. Let her sit there and go, yeah. Career, selling a dream, career progression. All the shit they do in normal jobs to keep the fucking person slaving away. Eventually you're going to be here. We're going to own this. You're going to make this much. Blah, blah, blah. But the only way we can do that is if we go have all these threesomes with all these girls, because these girls have to work for us, and they're not going to work if they don't love me, because they're going to run off. So the only way me and you, as a team, are going to be rich people is if we go get a bunch of girls to suck my dick together. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yes, please, Andrew. Romeo Pimp, selling fantasies, bottom bitch, as I say, fierce being put back into the general population. He's just selling it to her as a power couple. And she's equally besotted with Andrew.
Every day I was on a date. I was fucking 4 girls, 5 girls a week. Because that's how I built my business. I built my business off the back of my dick. That's how I built it. That's how I got rich.
Thinks a lot of himself, doesn't he? And we already knew that, I suppose.
So I became militant with the pimping. Women want attention. You're going to reward them for their good work with attention. So when they work hard, they do good. Like I said, you don't want a girl who's in it for the money. You want a girl who's in it because she loves you. So when they're working hard, you have to please them. You have to please them with attention. The easiest way to give her all attention is to fuck them.
Yeah. Of course it is.
So I just fuck them all. So what I used to do every day after work for me was a threesome, foursome, fivesome, orgy. I'll just sit there, type. Okay. At the end, I'd be like, okay, the girls would all sit around drinking wine, watching TV. I'd sit there with a spreadsheet, calculate how much money I made. Oh, I made $2,000. It's not bad for fucking 4 hours. All right, okay. All right, girls, they're all a bit drunk. Give my dick.
Can you actually imagine being recruited by the first girl, then finding every day you're on webcam, getting drunk with a bunch of other random women, and then Andrew just stands up and pulls at it? Fucking hell. That's just not right, not normal. Not normal.
Guys will eventually go up to one of the girls while she's on having a cigarette break and say, why don't me and you just go do this? He's paying me pennies, he's paying you pennies. I know how much he's paying you. Let's go do it ourselves. You're gonna have to start killing people. Because you're gonna be stealing your bitch and your money. That's a level of disrespect you can't take.
So that's his attitude, basically saying the problem if you employ men in your business is that they're going to start talking to the girls and try and take them away. And his attitude and his belief and what he says you should do in that situation, running a business, is to kill the person. Yes, that sounds like a sensible course of action, doesn't it? He admitted this on a publicly available course that he sold to other people. And people are still questioning his character. He's not saying any of this as a young person who doesn't know anything. He's in his late 20s, whatever, his early 30s. This isn't somebody who's, oh, well, I've changed now. No. That is a clear example of the kind of person he is. So that is a quick breakdown of the webcam business, how it started and how it ran. We've got some more articles and clips coming up that go into greater depth about the webcam business. Let's start them now.
In this article from the 16th of June, 2016, Andrew is quoted, "Why would you be with a woman who's not a virgin anyway? If you knew the things I do to girls and how their boyfriends love them afterwards, you'd laugh. She's used goods. Second-hand." The article also contains tweets from 2015 with artwork showing Tristan and Andrew as pimps and the now infamous Tate property tattoo. Further quotes state, "Now I don't need to train. I drink a lot of vodka and have sex as much as humanly possible. No bravado, maybe 10 times a day, every single day with 3 or 4 different women. Makes me feel powerful." A poem from one artwork reads, "Big Tate's hoes sell dreams and waste men's time. The men pay to stare, cause the hoes look fine. Big tits, big ass, women in their prime. We rob these tricks, don't commit no crime. Drain tricks, cash, non-stop money train. A big golden chain and some pink champagne. The king and his queens on a cash-fueled reign. Big Tate carries a cane to keep his hoes sane. The money ship sails without a hitch. Smooth sailing prevailing till we all get rich. If there is ever a problem, if there is ever a glitch, Big Tate won't wait, straight slap a bitch." Finally, the same article shows a creepy O.J. Simpson glove with the word pimp on the palm.
So leading up to being in the Big Brother house, Andrew Tate has social media accounts glorifying the pimp lifestyle, and we now know that he was under investigation at the time of being in the Big Brother house for rape. So why they let him in, I do not know. And why none of this, all these old articles and everything is available online, yet people have them on his podcast. Have him on their podcast. Like, don't you think that, it's all in the name of free speech, but there is a line to that. There is a line to that. In terms of the Big Brother house, his response to being kicked out was childish to say the least, if you watch this next clip.
The Big Brother don't put me back. I'm starting my own Big Brother house. 100K in cash. I'll get my own mansion, my own contestants, and I'll make the show good for real.
Yeah, which I think that's a little bit like his, when he got banned from social media. Okay, he didn't say he was going to start a new Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. He moved over to Rumble. But when all his bank accounts get stopped, so I'm going to start my own bank. Yeah, no, you're not. Like, Visa and MasterCard are just never going to be on board with that, are they? Or any of the other payment processors, given that you've been accused of fraud and money laundering and rape and everything else. Let alone how much money you need to start a bank. That's just rubbish. But I'm going to buy my own mansion with 100 grand cash, even though I haven't declared any income, so I can't actually buy a property in the UK. It's just so childish. He's just craving legitimacy, fame, and for people to listen to him, which he's now got to a degree. Articles then reported on him leaving the country, aside from the now infamous video.
This is probably 14% of the reason I moved to Romania, because in Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you're going to go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988, they're going to say we should have done something about it then. If you go to the police and say he raped me yesterday, say, okay, if you've got physical evidence, or is there CCTV proof? Where'd it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really rape, I'd say, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex, and then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. When people say, why did you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free.
True Geordie said it already, but there's only one thing to say about that. I'm not a rapist. I like the idea of being free. I like the idea of doing whatever I want. You see, that can't be emphasized too many times, that was his response, and those were the words he used. And we're not taking it out of context. That's exactly what he said. While he's under investigation himself.
Or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any fucking bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life.
It's interesting that it's interesting that that's his perspective as somebody who runs a webcam business, currently under investigation for rape, manipulates his employees, doesn't want them to have other boyfriends or any influence for the outside world because he needs them to love him and have control over their mind, not paying them the money he should be paying them, telling it 50-50, but he's keeping 20% for himself to pay taxes even though he's not paying those taxes. It's interesting, isn't it? But they can ruin his life, obviously, someone from Greg's, apparently, for no reason whatsoever. And we then got an article which says that where he's asking people where he should move to and his reasons why he has to leave the UK.
This article from June 23rd, 2016. It quotes Tate's previously banned Twitter account stating, "I have to leave the country by Saturday. Do I go to Seoul, Sofia, or Kiev?" This is further clarified with the comments. "When I say, have to, I mean I'm loaded and don't have a job, so what the fuck I want to stay in England for?"
So we know Andrew moves to Romania, and there are several clips about his webcam business where he says, "I'm not in that game anymore," but we now know that he was, so why say that you're not?
First money I made on the internet was the webcam thing, and this is a long time ago. This is maybe 6-7 years ago. This was before OnlyFans.
Right, so I'm not in the industry anymore, but I used to run a webcam studio like 5 or 6 years ago. So.
And yet this article, which is dated 2022, explains how the brothers just moved their business to Romania. So he clearly is still in the webcam industry, so why lie about it?
Finally, the Tate brothers gave a British newspaper an exclusive story about their webcam empire in March 2022. It states, "Callous Tristan and Andrew Tate admit their business is a total scam, but say the authorities cannot stop them. They claim to run a studio where 75 lingerie-clad models take calls from fans paying $4 a minute. Hunters can ask for private shows and pay tips at their own risk." Tristan says one man handed over his £20,000 inheritance, while others have run up huge debts. The brothers grew up in Luton, setting up their first webcam studio in a 2-bed flat a decade ago. After 3 years, they moved to Romania. Some women will claim to have crippling university debt, a family member in need of private healthcare, or a dream of moving to the UK, sometimes even telling men they want to meet them. Whatever the excuse is, it is a lie. Tristan said he believes he is beyond the reach of the authorities because of 2 lines in the terms and conditions. One is broadcasting is for entertainment purposes only. That means if a model says she has a sick dog or a sick grandma, it doesn't have to be true. On the terms and conditions, lawyer Paul Hampson states, "A term of a contract has to be fair. You can't just have a unilateral term in there to say everything we do is fine." On one occasion, Tristan warned a customer not to spend his $20,000 inheritance. But when the man visited another site weeks later, Tristan told staff, "Take him for everything he's got."
So in this article it states, the brothers set up their webcam business a decade ago. So 2022, 10 years before 2012. They moved it to Romania after 3 years. 2015, we know that is roughly around the time that Andrew exited Big Brother and moved to Romania while under investigation for rape. An investigation which didn't finish until 2019. I mean, that's a pretty damning timeline, and it's quite clear that he still is in the webcam industry, which is probably why Tristan looks a little bit confused and worried in this next clip.
So my brother runs an OnlyFans agency. I'll be honest. So my brother's making 200 grand a month from OnlyFans. Casino's making more than that.
Wrong clip. So, so that's just where Andrew says Tristan runs an OnlyFans agency. And sorry, messages have come out to say actually that Andrew runs it and Tristan's just like a bottom dude, or it's at least not as in charge as Andrew is, because Andrew's the bigger brother, Andrew's the alpha, so really he's doing it. And now is the clip about Tristan's facial expressions. One thing first though, isn't it interesting where he says the casino's making like, does he not know? How much of a professional is he? He doesn't know what his business is. Either he doesn't know, or he doesn't want to disclose it, or there's something definitely shady, which we'll get onto later on.
So I'm not in the industry anymore, but I used to run a webcam studio like 5 or 6 years ago. So like before OnlyFans.
I knew it.
Listen, yeah, it's an interesting story. I'll explain how I got there. So now it's a lot more common, the idea of OnlyFans, webcam, that kind of thing. But when I was doing it 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was a lot less common.
Tristan's nervous because he knows that's a lie, a complete lie. The news article explaining that the fraud is backed up by Andrew on Full Send. And the quote from that article, which I find most interesting, is that, oh, we can get away with lying to people and taking all their money, etc., because of this video is for entertainment purposes only. Like, I could say that now, couldn't I? This video is for entertainment purposes only, and I can say, well, Andrew's a rapist, Tristan's a rapist, they're guilty, but it's for entertainment. I can say whatever I like. Yeah, that's just, you know, not true. That's why we have to say allegedly. He's allegedly a rapist. So they can't just say, oh, they're going on camera, so everything they say doesn't have to be true, because that's a load of rubbish. And I'm probably going to repeat myself later on, but as it comes on with the fraud, is that they were still taking these people money and keeping all the lies going over WhatsApp. Now, I'm sure, so it wasn't like it's just on that one platform, the webcam site platform. They were clearly extending that fraud into private messages, private conversations, whatever, not just on that one site with those terms and conditions. But let's just go on Andrew's own words on Full Send about the fraud.
You can't be a 10 talking about how you've been to Dubai to some fucking dude in Minnesota who's fat. He ain't gonna ever believe that he's gonna get you that way. You gotta lie to him. You gotta lie to him. She's like, lie and say what? Say that you've never been anywhere because you don't trust men. You can't find a man who's serious. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking. The girls were just famoosers, just laughing and doing this, their titties out, and they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. If they come and say, what kind of, all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all.
Feel bad or no?
Fuck no. Don't give a solitary fuck. If you run an alcohol store, and most of the people you sell to enjoy alcohol, but a couple of the people you sell to are alcoholics, do you feel bad?
No.
Right. If you turned up and you were an idiot and got a loan out, is that my problem? No. We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models, serious, big time in love, right? Sending crazy money. And they were convinced they were going to meet the chick. This is almost where I kind of felt bad. Because they were like, can we meet? I've sent you $200,000. Can we meet? Can we meet? Can we meet? And the problem
what was the most that one person sent to a model? Total.
Million?
I know you don't feel bad at all.
Why the fuck would I care?
I don't feel bad either.
Of course you
So
don't
what the
feel
girls
bad.
would do is they promise meetings. And maybe this is a bit bad. Here's where the famoose would start. Get some guy, fall in love, they'd arrange the day to meet, all this shit, I need a visa. Okay, get a visa. I need money for a visa. Okay, how much is the visa? It's $900. No, but it's not $900 because I went to the embassy. They think I'm a risk and I need a return flight there and back and I need a hotel. I need to have spending money in my bank account. They won't let me come. Or how much you need? All right, 10 grand. Boom, it's 10 G's. Boom, thanks.
Wow.
Go to the embassy, take a picture outside the embassy, boom, come back. They rejected my visa. They said we have to wait 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they'll give it to me. Okay, baby, boom. 2 more weeks of tips. Boom, 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 boom. Because now he thinks he's gonna fuck, right? He thinks he get the girls. Now he's spending more than ever. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks come. Some other problem. Whether it's visa, whatever. We'd make up some bullshit. The girl would be online for 6 or 7 hours, but then when she logged off, was sleeping or whatever, on her WhatsApp, I'd have staff. She was online 24 hours a day. Her WhatsApp, her this. She was famoosing when she was asleep. We were bringing in money from the fucking sky. We were promising all these meetings, all these pictures outside of embassies, all this shit.
The key thing here is that this fraud was apparently legal due to a line in the terms and conditions that says broadcasting is for entertainment purposes only. But it wasn't just happening on the website. As shaky as those excuses are in terms of entertainment purposes only, this was happening off the website through WhatsApp and any other means, I'm sure. But just to be clear, watch this next clip on his redemption arc.
I don't sell scams. I don't lie to anybody. I live with a pure heart.
Got it.
Eventually, the girl, what she would do is she'd say, oh, I don't want to go embassy. She'd give a really lame excuse to try and provoke the man to get angry. So she'd say, the embassy want me to come back, but I have a headache. That was the one we'd use. He'd be like, I just sent you $1 million. You promised you were going to come. You said you had to delay. Now you're saying you have a fucking headache and you won't go to your appointment. To make him mad on purpose, because that would annoy any man. And then, that's what we needed. We needed a little trigger. And we go, why are you being aggressive? I'm not being aggressive, but you're not serious, And then we'd say, but you know what? I really like you and I'm flying to the other side of the world by myself and now you're being aggressive and now I'm intimidated. And we'd flip it on them, saying, well, now you're being scary. No, I'm not being scary, but you know, it's your appointment. You're supposed to go, yeah, but I feel sick and you don't even care. Female bullshit. Female bullshit. And flip it on him.
Oh
Flip it on him. And he'd get fucking furious because we were really good at
playing
fucking...
both sides.
Poking him to the point where he'd go like, you're a fucking scammer, you fucking scam me. Get really mad. I can't believe you think I was a scammer. I was gonna come, I went to the embassy. You're a fucking liar. Every man in my life has only lied to me. I thought you were different. Da-da-da. Big beef, big argument.
Yep.
Big argument. But here's the thing. The guy would get pissed off, right? And leave, stop tipping her, stop coming to her. But for these men, that's the only chick in the world, the only hot chick in the world who talks to him. Maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes 2 weeks, maybe it takes 3 weeks. He's in bed at night, alone, jerking off, looking at her old videos and pictures, watching her stream again from another account so she can't see it's him, sitting there going, maybe she was
That is a bit creepy.
Maybe I just got too mad when she had a headache. Maybe I should have been a little bit more patient and she would have been my girlfriend. And 100% of the time, in less than 3 months, they'd be back with an apology, a brand new pile of money, and the cycle would repeat. We fucking killed the game. Millions of dollars a week.
Millions of dollars a week. I think that's an exaggeration there for a start. But the arrogance to be able to say all that, which is illegal and fraudulent, on a public podcast and think he can get away with it. Well, I suppose he's faced a rape charge which had a 4-year investigation, or the case was open for 4 years, and then he got away with it, and then he managed to still make millions and move to Romania and live his life in the public. So I suppose that's why he probably is arrogant. One last thing, or one last clip I think on the webcam business in terms of who keeps the money. So watch these next clips on that front.
What would you do if I wanted to start an OnlyFans?
I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with women doing OnlyFans.
Of course he wouldn't.
As long as I had influence and control over it.
What do you mean? Doing a video photographer and get the angles, yeah?
No. I'm not doing any real work, but just like taking all the money. If my chick said, I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you made? 10 grand, all right, give me 8. All right, cool. All right.
What woman is going to give you 8 grand?
Because you're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling my product, what the fuck?
I wouldn't even mind my girl doing OnlyFans as long as I kept all the money. I wouldn't give a shit. If I had a girl who said I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, cool, go for it. Let me know how much money we make.
You're keeping all of it though?
Yes, she's mine.
100%, you're keeping all profits.
I mean, I might let her buy us some shoes or something.
You give these girls like kind of like a cut?
Yeah, so
no, 100% to you.
Well, we can talk about this. So the girls who worked for me purely just work were working for me purely just work.
Okay.
Right? So
that only applies to a relationship.
Yeah, so that'd be 50%.
Already what we've established from his course which he sold is that 50% actually meant 30%, and he scammed them out of the other 20.
If a girl was my girlfriend, she'd be working and I'd get all of it. Now, that doesn't mean she wouldn't have a nice life, right? Because she's my chick now. So, like, we are now a power couple. We're a team.
And I'm going to spend the money on you.
I'm going to spend...
He dodges that one.
I'll buy you a bag, I'll buy you shoes, whatever. I'm investing. It's not even it's 100%. I'm in charge of the money.
Yeah.
Not that you can't have things. It's not that you can't do things. Not that you're fucking flat broke. I'm in charge of the money. 100 G's just came. What do you want to buy? Oh, I really want this bag. Well, you bought a bag last week.
That's a no.
I really want this one. Okay, well, here's the bag. What else do you need? Nails, food, da-da-da. Okay, cool. Well, I'm paying the rent. Is there anything else you actually need? No. All right, then let's invest this.
So they get very little. And we already know that the bank account shared with Tristan, so it's not really their money as a couple. It's his and Tristan. Strike 3. Who gets the money?
It was more very much like I was in charge of the money. Otherwise, she was just spunking it on dumb shit. So it was
her money. It's up to her to spend her money on whatever she wants. Or apparently not, because they're a couple, so she can't spend money on whatever she wants. Because it's his money, because she's his property.
I say the 100% thing, everyone loses their fucking mind. But basically it was the more intelligent, competent individual inside of the pair was in charge of the money. Me.
But then what if they wanted to leave or break up? I bet they got nothing, right? Because he's made the money. It's invested between him and Tristan somewhere else. So how are they ever going to get any of that money that they've worked for back? They're not, are they? I mean, who knows? Speculation. Allegedly. But this is for entertainment purposes only, so I can say what I want.
And she also...
Have you ever pulled that off?
What do you mean pulled that off?
Like, have you ever dated an OnlyFans chick that's given you 100% of the money?
All the time.
No. Just to be clear, he's not dating OnlyFans models or the OnlyFans entrepreneurs who set up their own business. He's sourced women, coerced women to work for him and Tristan and groom them so that they pay him all of their money that they do earn. So it's very different to him dating someone who works for OnlyFans, but because she's his girlfriend that she gives him all of her money. That's not what's going on there.
I'm describing to you right now. All the chicks gave me all the money. I was in charge of it.
So do you put your bank info on their OnlyFans account, or do they pull it out and then wire it to me? They wire it to
Yeah, no problem.
Which is a good tactic from him. When I say good, it's a clever tactic, because then it gives an illusion of mutual agreement by them giving the money over. They've taken it out, they've given it to him. They didn't have to do that. That's compliant.
The reason this dynamic worked is because the girl understood that she wasn't making the money. It was my money.
A second ago, they were a power couple. And he carries on with this.
Because she understood that she is nothing but a face to a genius apparatus I've created. She
That
knows
is some psychological crazy.
She could be replaced. I can take another girl of equal beauty, sit her down in front of that keyboard, which ain't even plugged in, bitch, and do this, and make the same fucking money. You are lucky to work for me, because I can replace you. You cannot replace me.
I think that tells us everything we need to know about the webcam business. One final point. Remember what he says about you have to fuck the girls.
I did not I'm telling you, a few months in, I hated having sex with these chicks, man. Because it got to the point where literally I'd wake up and go, you know what, 7 of these bitches have done well. I had to fuck 7 girls in the next 3 hours. Because I got shit at it. It became a sport. It's just like, I can't fuck one because then the other 6 will get upset. I can't fuck none because then they all get upset and don't work. I got to fuck all 70. I've got 3 hours. Damn, okay, shit. Shit, let's go.
So in this scenario, all these women around going, "Oh, Andrew, I've done well, fuck me next." Yeah, that's just... Okay, we'll leave it there. So, under investigation for rape around 2015, he moved to Romania, where it seems he starts a casino franchise. Let's move on to the casinos. Let's get straight into it.
So I own some casinos.
I saw your website too. Yeah.
So I own some casinos in Romania. That's one of the first things I do.
Really?
But I don't want to talk about that in too much depth.
Really? Why not? We're going to need another clip from another podcast.
I have 4 primary sources of income that I'm prepared to disclose to the world.
Sure. Go ahead.
Prepared to disclose. Nothing dodgy has ever come after that phrase.
The first thing is I own some casinos in Romania.
Fantastic.
The story of how I opened them is long, but I'll make it very, very short. There was a guy who owns 400 casinos, 3 brothers, mafia guys. They own 400 casinos throughout Eastern Europe.
400 casinos, 3 brothers, mafia guys, casinos in Eastern Europe. Yeah, this isn't going to be dodgy. That's all.
I came up to him and said, look, I want to do a franchise with you. They said, we're not interested in franchises. We have enough money. We just open them ourselves. We turn over 10 million euros a day. Why do I need your franchise? Eventually, I came up with a plan. And I said, look, how about this? I'll open up your locations directly next to your biggest competitor. So I'll go to war for you next to the competitor. Worst case, the location doesn't pay any money, but at least it takes money from your competitor.
And who are you consuming the competitors are? Potentially other criminals running casinos? Who else would compete with the mafia? He wants to go to war for them. So, I'm sure Andrew loves getting involved in legitimate businesses as the professional he professes and he's dying to be. Carrying on.
Second, my brother runs a company that manages girls on OnlyFans. So a female without instruction is headed for destruction.
Let's just remember as well that this clip, or these clips, the Your Mum's House podcast, was a year before the social media ban. So Tristan manages the OnlyFans company. He manages it, but as we now know, that is their company. And all the money they shared, anyway, the Sheeran shared everything. But let's get back to the casinos. Let's not lose focus.
I was commentating for it, and one of the sponsors of it is a casino company. The casino owns these small casinos all around Eastern Europe. There's no live dealer. It's just arcade machine, like slots machines.
Now that is interesting. Watch this.
In pubs and clubs across the country, it's no secret that Australians pour billions into the pokies. A whistleblower from inside the industry claims they're also a godsend for money launderers. Troy Stoles worked for Clubs New South Wales as a compliance auditor and claims drug syndicates deposit large amounts into poker machines, then cash their money out soon after. He says organised crime groups enlist networks of university students to wash money through multiple venues in amounts less than $10,000 to avoid alerting authorities.
Now obviously this is all for entertainment purposes only and we're not alleging anything at all.
give them 50 or 100 different venues to do, and you've got a team of 10. It's quite easy to clean a lot of that money.
90 to 95% of New South Wales clubs are operating illegally when it comes to money laundering and the funding of terrorism.
Now, that's Australia, not Romania, so obviously we can't say that the practice would be the same on slot machines such as that, and obviously the Tate's casinos could be completely different. Let's have a look inside the Tate's casinos just to see, what's going on.
Checking out our casinos. We opened some fucking casinos. We're in partnership with one of the biggest, the best brand in this whole country, and we're opening up casinos now.
Just to be clear, there's some music in the background of the casino, so I didn't want to play it. Bold Tristan. Which may be copyrighted, so I've just played my own over the top. So what have we established so far? He's publicly I've written this down, so let's just go in. He's publicly admitted to tax evasion on money from fighting in his webcam businesses, either whether it's Bitcoin or cash or whatever. He's publicly admitted psychologically manipulating his workers and girlfriends, not paying PAYE, not paying tax, not paying pension, not putting them on a fair contract, only paying them 30% when they felt they're on 50%. He's publicly admitted scamming customers of his webcam business, telling lies about the girls to elicit money from viewers. He admitted this happening on webcam, on WhatsApp, not just on the webcam platforms themselves. He's admitted to starting a casino franchise with an Eastern European criminal mafia group, which is not illegal in and of itself, I suppose, but certainly raises a red flag in that there would be suspicions of money laundering going on within those casinos, which would also explain why he gives them a percentage of turnover, because the profit would be non-existent given that if they're filtering their own money in, he's paying them back with their own money. So then it would have to be turnover anyway. Let's just have some random clips before and after a social media ban, which raised some more red flags with regards to his attitude, his personality, his businesses. And let's remember, like I said from the beginning, he's in his late 20s here. This isn't a child, this isn't a teenager, this isn't someone who's had no experience of life. This is a fully grown, experienced adult.
Comfortable opening up too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you might work for John Law and the government.
No.
I have to be careful what I say.
Oh, so it's not commitment issues?
It's not commitment issues. It's more just like legality issues.
Legality issues? Of opening up about what you do for a living? Now, I'm going to admit he could be playing a character here, but there is a constant and continuous thread that all add up to around these legality issues.
So they'll own nothing themselves. I don't own anything. There's a company in the Caribbean islands that owns a boat that I can use.
So what we are alluding here to is tax avoidance or evasion, whichever one it is. Which is, if you're moving stuff into offshore accounts, isn't necessarily illegal. You're just kind of moving into one tax jurisdiction to another. Unless it's proceeds of crime, which obviously is illegal. And Tate regularly references Singaporean trusts, but also it's also illegal if you're moving, say, Bitcoin, and it's actually money earned in certain countries where you should be paying tax, but you're hiding it in offshore accounts. Then that is illegal. So it's interesting.
Well, you make money through your ventures, right?
Right. So yeah, I already have.
What ventures do you have right now?
Yeah, I can't tell everybody everything I do, but I have enough money forever.
Over and over, why can't you tell everybody everything you do? I mean, yeah, all right, privacy issues, fair enough, but there always seems to come down to this legality issues. I can't tell everybody because it's a bit shady. Entertainment purposes only, however, let's remember that.
An entity in a company, blah, blah, owns the house I live in. Now, that was a cash, and that's only because I wanted it the way I wanted it. I want to renovate all this. I want bulletproof glass. Okay, just buy it. Yeah. That's why I did it.
Why does he need bulletproof glass? This is before his media ban, this is before everything else. This is for him becoming so outspoken. Let's have a look at his Romania house. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, I've seen things online saying, oh, it's 20 million. Watch. So we drop a pin there. Why are all the windows on creepy individual shutters? Why does it need bulletproof glass? This does not look like a $20 million house on an industrial estate on a cul-de-sac in Romania And I've seen the inside. There's no way this doesn't have any additional luxury features looking at it either. If you want to see a 20, $30 million house, just watch Architectural Digest and then look at Andrew Tate's house. There's no way that's worth 20 odd million. I wouldn't pay a few million for it. So you look at the Adlington Hall estate in Cheshire at the moment. It's on for 30 million. 30 million, the Adlington Hall estate. You've got royal ties, it's God knows how old, you've got cottages, you've got the main house, you've got thousands of acres of land in Cheshire, and some people are trying to say that's worth 20 odd million dollar house. No chance. No chance. Let alone those creepy windows. Why does he need individual shutters on creepy windows? Why him in this lifestyle and what he's portraying himself to be doesn't make any sense.
You would think if you're committing atrocities, you would try to stay under the radar. He does quite the opposite.
Yeah, but again, we don't know.
No, nobody knows.
That's the problem.
I have a few theories here. The first is that Andrew Tate is very vain, he's very arrogant, he had the desire to be famous. He's been on at least 3 reality shows, he's been on Big Brother, he's got his own channel, he's some sort of island survivor. Tristan's been on one before. So he obviously has this desire to be known, to be loved, to be famous, to cause trouble, whatever it is. Plus, he's already faced 1 rape charge in England, fled to Romania, and he's got off with it. So why would he feel like he has to hide? 2, he's not unique. Look at this picture of Pablo Escobar when he was wanted by the FBI or whatever, CIA, and he has a picture with his child in front of the White House. They don't always keep a low profile. On that note, you know, they always try and say Tate's a family man, he's such a nice guy. I'm sure people that Pablo Escobar liked thought he was a great guy. He had children, he had a family. It doesn't mean that he didn't cause the murder and misery for people up and down the world, I suppose. And then last one, look at this housewives fraudster.
Ladies and gentlemen, all that glitters is not gold. Sometimes the people faking a perfect lifestyle like Jen Shaw of the Real Housewives really are running a secret crime ring behind the scenes.
In this town, I'm Queen Bee and MVP.
A Real Housewife is now facing federal charges along with her assistant on suspicion of running a nationwide telemarketing fraud and money laundering scheme.
She's accused in a DOJ release of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering. It is crazy, and we're going to get into all of it today.
So in this situation, Andrew Tate's personality is by no means unique. If you'd been subject to media scrutiny following Big Brother while a rape allegation was on the way with the police, which was dropped 4 years later, and then he brazenly boasts tax avoidance and evasion with no consequences. I mean, if I was a criminal narcissist, I wouldn't be in hiding either. It's like an evil version of Jack, mate. He just goes on every reality show going. That was a bit of a low blow. Sorry, Jack. But why would he keep a low profile? He has no need to keep a low profile. No one else. He's also not unique in that he doesn't keep a low profile. He keeps getting away with it until now, allegedly, entertainment purposes only.
With all the money he'd made from his cam business and crypto, it might seem strange that he started a YouTube channel where he was making pennies in comparison. But his intention was simple: build the public profile he'd long desired and drive viewers to his website to buy the slew of courses he had on offer. A fitness program, a course on how to get women, a course on body language, it was all there, perfectly tailored to the type of man his YouTube content was made to attract.
We've kind of skipped over this now, so we've kind of moved from his kind of his personality into his business ventures, and so how he's moved from casinos to also sell these courses on body language and how to get women or pick-up artistry. But all he's doing here is what is kind of the Ansoff matrix. So it's a simple business matrix, which is if you're running a business, you can increase your turnover or income by selling more product to the same customers, more product to new customers, new products to existing customers, or new products to new customers, which is the hardest market to get into. So all he's doing here is, well, I run a webcam business, I've got all these people watching my girls, or I've got a database of all this information. I can then pepper these insecure men with a body language course, with a pickup artistry course, which is a webcam business course, and then move forward with that. And personally, it's no different to seeing, I don't know, penis enlargement pills on certain websites. You are targeting a specific database of people who have certain interests, which makes sense why he would go from one to another. And to be honest, it makes perfect sense why he's gone into this strange Hustlers University thing. And I think if it wasn't for the TikTok algorithm, as genius as his affiliate marketing get-rich-quick program was, it makes sense why he did it. But if it wasn't for the TikTok algorithm and YouTube Shorts, none of us probably would have heard of Andrew Tate, or very few of us. So let's just go on to the next clip.
And then came the War Room. The War Room is a members-only club that connects like-minded individuals around the world. On his website, Tate describes it as a global organization with members, bases, and influence in over 70 countries. The War Room was Tate's first big move in creating a community around his brand. Membership to the club was initially priced at £457, but with his recent surge in popularity, he's hiked the price up to an eye-watering £4,147.
It's a bit of an increase, isn't it? £4,000, £5,000. But for all he claims the War Room, the initial cost is laughable. I mean, look at the pixelated faces on this picture and then the pixelated faces on this one. It's just reusing the same picture but pixelating one than the other to make them look like it's secretive or dangerous or whatever it should be. I mean, let's move on to the social media banks. The War Room's just not worth talking about, apart from him claiming it to be one of the most powerful networks in the world, but it can't get him out of Romanian prison. A very corrupt country. So despite Andrew Tate's home being raided in April 2020, and all the publicly available videos of him admitting various crimes, and the fact that he had broken all the social media algorithms, his ban didn't come until August 2022, surprisingly.
So why did Andrew Tate get banned?
They did not tell me. They did not send me an email.
Don't believe
No
that.
correspondence. I certainly didn't break terms of service. I guess that's why they couldn't send me an email and explain why. Nobody told me, whether it was YouTube that banned me or Meta that banned me. They banned me instantly and forever without any kind of correspondence. They've not told me why. They've not told anyone what I did.
Just don't believe that for a start. For a start, Stripe made a statement at the very beginning when they banned him, which Stripe took the payments for Hustlers University, and they said he's been banned because they don't support get-rich-quick schemes. And it had reached a level where he was on the radar of the social media companies, apart from all the other stuff he has been alleged to be a criminal for. Bad English, but you know what I mean. He was using the social media algorithms to get people into this affiliate scheme and Hustlers University. So at the very least, surely that's a reason that was given to him.
Is he banned from YouTube? I don't
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yes. YouTube too. Wow.
Yep. And they seized his assets. So
they seized his assets.
Yes.
No, they didn't seize his assets. They
canceled
his. So if you listen to him on Tucker Carlson, his ability to his domain name and his ability to monetize it, and his ability to do transactions with certain platforms.
he had a whole school, like the Man School.
So they're referring to the Stripe ban, but it did reach much further. They did seize his assets, as we'll now find out.
Then they banned me from Discord. Then they banned me from Airbnb. They banned me from Stripe. I can't even remember.
Airbnb?
It was just emails coming in faster than you could believe. Ban.
So
the Matrix.
Now, bet David at this point, he's a very smart guy, but to me, he looks like he's thinking something's not adding up here. I mean, this is a level of ban which is reserved for criminals. So Uber, restricting movement. Airbnb, restricting movement. Is it going to be money from proceeds of crime? These are obviously the messages when banks get involved as well. It's like, this is not just a normal thing. I mean, Russell Brand has 6 million followers and he goes out, talk to them daily about the American government, about the proxy war with Russia, etc., etc., etc. And he doesn't have any of this trouble. But Andrew Tate's obviously special.
Oh, no, the Matrix presses a button, my friend. Yeah. And every app on your phone stops working. Uber. You name it. Uber.
Stop.
You name it.
Wait, you can't use Uber?
Well, I can use Uber. You just start a new account, right? But oh, sorry, Uber. Catch me. But
your main account on Uber was taken.
They take everything from you.
Everything. Coordinated effort all at once.
Coordinated effort all at once. Every single one of them just goes, no. Delete, 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 delete. And they come at you and they come at you with everything.
And Stripe.
Banks.
Payment processing.
Oh, and banks. UK-based banks as well. High Street, banks. But I can name Santander, HSBC, Barclays, etc. all at the same time.
Banks.
Oh, no, sorry. To change, we've decided because blah, blah, some bullshit, some letter, close your accounts. So they take all your banking, they take your payment processing, they take all your social media presence, they take your Discord, they take your Skype, they take all your accounts, your ability to communicate with people, and then they lie about you in the press.
Again, these are not usually the actions taken against innocent men or people who are just misogynists or talking against the government. There are numerous red flags that he's put out himself on podcasts or his own productions. And he's incriminated himself about money laundering, tax avoidance, tax evasion, the way he treats women and the way he ran his businesses. And as I'm just repeating myself now, it's clearly a move to limit the movement of somebody so they could trace payments in and out, trace where he goes, because they want to build this case against him, and that's why he's been detained in a Romanian prison. Nothing else to say. Next clip.
Yeah, they close bank accounts,
Crazy.
payment processing. That's what I mean, own the money, right?
Yeah.
Your bank account. Freeze all my bank accounts and try and raise criminal charges against me for things I haven't done. And there has been real consequences.
So how did you get around them freezing your bank accounts?
Well, you don't, do you? You have to just deal with the long legal process of having 7 or 8 bank accounts and millions of pounds frozen.
How powerful is the network?
I'm alive.
Are we allowed to talk about anybody else who's in there?
I will never tell you about any of the members, but let's put it this way: I'm still alive, right? So, and there's been serious attempts on my life. The war room is the most powerful network on the face of the planet today, bar governments.
Are you trying to keep
a nation state? The war room is bar a nation state wanting you dead. The war room is the number one enemy you wouldn't want you coming after you, because they will get you. We are that good.
Can't unfreeze a bank account though, can you? Can't get out of a Romanian prison though, can you? Can't reinstate your Facebook or your Instagram. Twitter was only reinstated thanks to Elon Musk, and then, is he banned? No, he's not banned yet. So it doesn't, and also doesn't that sound like an organised crime group a little bit? We will get you, we are that good. Of all the research, the constant moaning about his ban due to TikTok clips though is one of the most nauseating. He just moans constantly about how people have taken his content and clipped it up and put it online, and that's just, the next segment is about that.
I was not sitting there anticipating I'd become the most Googled man on the planet and that a few seconds could be taken out of context. That was not my anticipation. I'm not going to apologize for the edits of other people. I'm not going to apologize for the misunderstandings of other people. There's a whole bunch of clips people are making which make me look very bad. That's not good for my life. That's not good for business. Now, anything you produce that's long form is cut down to very, very short form. They're interested in clicks. They're interested in engagement. They find the most controversial clips they can on purpose. It's just TikToks. Edit it up to make me look bad, made by people I don't know. I have a problem with long format things I've said being taken out of context, taking a small clip from a 2-hour piece of video, then with careful editing, removing of tonality, and changing my intention behind the words, painting me to be a criminal or a bad person when I'm not. And where they've taken long format content, completely removed all context, and they're now watching something they don't completely understand. Hours and hours of videos been cut down to 2 or 3 seconds of clip. If you're going to take a few seconds out of hours, chop it up, put it all over social media, accompanied with my massive fame, then things can absolutely not be taken out of context.
For any other person, this might be a legitimate argument, but we're talking about Andrew Tate. And when clips are being posted by his own followers, let's just have a look inside Hustlers University and just see whether his whinging and crying on every podcast and interview going is justified.
You will find the Tate library inside of the HU affiliate program section. So what you have to do...
Just to be clear, this is the university, the Discord, the thing that's going to change your life.
Is just scroll down and you can see here it's with the library books. It's called the Tate Library. It's a Google Drive.
Take a look at the screen. This is a post on the Hustlers University by one of the professors, a Google Drive provided by the professor, provided by Hustlers University, directly. And as I understand it, the professor, Luke, is Andrew and Tristan's cousin. Now, it might not be, but it's definitely a professor, providing this document. to anybody who wants to do the Hustlers University affiliate program.
That has a bunch of different folders of all these clips that you can use that have Andrew Tate talking about different things. So all you have to do is just click on the Cobra Tate video catalog. Once you open up the video catalog, then you can just search for whatever hashtag you want to use on TikTok. So I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Command F, and I'm going to type in hashtag money because I want clips that are all about money. Then I hit enter, and as you can see, it highlights every single time the word money is used on this video catalog. So I see here that I have 638 clips that mention the word money inside of them. So this is a huge resource when it comes to affiliate marketing, because all you have to do is just click on one of these clips, download it, chop it up a little bit, and then add it to TikTok.
So he's on there whinging that people he doesn't know are clipping up his content and posting it when he's incentivized them to do so. He's providing them the information. He's being paid by them, he's giving them a cut, and he's giving them a list of files, a list of names, pages and pages and pages of clips, pages and pages and pages of content that they can download the videos from. It gives them a specific timestamp where they can find the most controversial clips. I think there was a statement on the Hustlers University website at some point saying you want argument, you want war, you want division, you want controversy. You know, how can he sit there and whinge like a little bitch that he's being taken advantage of in some way and that life's unfair for him when he has created this himself and profited? So it doesn't, those two things don't connect, and how someone like Piers Morgan cannot find that out and then bring it at him during an interview is nonsensical. Well, I can't even think about where we're even up to now, so let's just carry on to the next clip.
Access things like the affiliate announcements or the HU2 wins, or even the affiliate wins, where everybody is commenting and sending snapshots of all their different earnings that they are getting by just promoting Hustlers University. And the majority of these people are doing the exact thing that I'm about to show you in this video. So it really does work. As you can see here, somebody just made $1,000 this week, another $1,800, another $2,300, another $11,000 on July 4th. So many opportunities are inside of this Hustlers University affiliate program.
Now remember, the affiliate program and Discord group is a huge part of the ban. It's a huge reason that Stripe pulled out as a get rich quick scheme, a pyramid scheme, an MLM type scheme. And yeah, all right, you could use the argument of you can just affiliate for Amazon, but Amazon have thousands and thousands of products across their lines that you could, you're affiliating for Amazon, but you're selling multiple products. This is one course to recruit people to join to then get a commission. So it's not the same really as an affiliate program. And then once people are inside, if you question things, you're weak, you're a hater, you can get put in jail. There are so many different things which are wrong with this group, which are coercive and manipulative, as well as professors, shall we say. Let's look at the so-called professors. We've got pixelated faces, you've got one professor on stocks, you've got 4 crypto professors, and you've got 2 finance and business professors. So across all of this, it's illegal to give financial advice unless you are a kind of trained and regulated by the FCA or whoever it is and are registered as a financial advisor. A few of these people have been exposed as being involved in crypto pump and dump schemes. So once you've got 100,000 people in the ecosystem, assuming they're all legitimate users, then who's to say that they aren't giving financial advice? Who's to say they aren't giving bad advice or manipulating people for a pump and dump style crypto scheme? It's a good thing the affiliate program at the very least has been shut down, but they should go further. Finally, let's see some clips surrounding Tate's conversion to Islam. We're not going to make it a controversial one, but let's just see. Okay, so my opinion is that Andrew Tate is a fake Muslim. He's banned by Western media and the social media companies. His message isn't necessarily getting across anymore, and so he changes his rhetoric to what he can make the most profit from. Where can he try and sell his message to? He did have his speaking event in Dubai, which was cancelled, and he's not come out and said why it's being cancelled. No one, his manager, I can't find anything online about why that speaking event has been cancelled, which is strange for Andrew Tate. But no, I think he's kind of positioning himself to a new audience, to try and make money, to try and manipulate existing tensions between the West and the Islamic world, and we'll get into why.
Whatever coins you have on your account or in the mining, if you have 1,000 coins on your account and 1,000 in the mining, what we will do as a company, we will double the coins on your account.
So this might seem like a random clip at first, but I wanted it for two reasons. First, it shows the scale at which crypto scams can get to. This is potentially one of the biggest crypto scams ever. The lady you saw there was Dr. Ruja Ignatova, and it was an event held at the SSE Arena in Wembley. And you can hear the amount of people, thousands of people shouting, and they use very similar language in terms of anybody that questioned it, so haters and such. There's a book in the link below called The Missing Crypto Queen. It's a really interesting read. I suggest you go and read it. The second part of the reason why I've put this in here is that one of the methods this scheme used was to have a fake certificate showing that the OneCoin crypto scheme was authorized by Islamic banking, or whatever the term would be. Turns out that that certificate was fake, but not in time for millions or thousands, shall we say, of Muslims to be conned into believing that they were investing in a legitimate and, let's say, not say halal, but not haram scheme, because things like Muslims have to be very careful with regards to interest, investing. Crypto is seen as haram by most Muslim scholars, and yet you've got over 50% of Tate's professors teaching crypto. So would NFTs be acceptable? Probably not. And so, like I say, Islamic banking is a complicated and complex issue, and is interwoven with kind of Islamic Sharia law, or whatever the terms may be. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but what I do know is that thousands of Muslims were taken advantage of by the OneCoin crypto scam, and that was also controlled by Eastern European mafia, who we know Tate has links to. Not alleging anything, this is for entertainment purposes only, but there seems to be common threads here.
Because I think that how can you worship or believe in something you don't respect? And if you look at a lot of the garbage coming out about Christian preachers now in America who are trans, and Christian preachers with gay flags on the church and all this insanity, I think that Christianity has lost its way. So if I believe in God and Christianity has lost its way, then I've been shown the truth, and the truth must be Islam.
The reason why I think this is just playing into narratives, it's playing into existing fears and existing divides, is that Tate has lived for years in Romania, which is the main religion is the Eastern Orthodox Church. Homosexuality is seen as a sin. You can't have gay marriage. Divorce is very much frowned upon, and as is homosexuality. So yes, there might be certain sects of Christianity which are doing one thing, but there are still lots of devout Christians, either across America or across the world, who don't believe in abortion, don't believe in contraception, don't believe in gay marriage, don't believe in equal rights for women. There are plenty of ways for him to be a devout Christian and still maintain those views. It just seems pretty coincidental that he suddenly converts to Islam when he gets banned by Western media and has bank accounts frozen, etc., etc. It just seems that he is pitching his beliefs into an East-West struggle, a Christianity versus Islam struggle, purely for his own profit and popularity. Again, that's my opinion. Let's go on to his relationship with Tommy Robinson.
So we're going through the edit, and I had one other thought about Andrew Tate and his tirade against the Christian faith, accepting LGBTQ plus people, etc., etc. And one point came to mind, one point which he has gone on and on and on about in a lot of his podcasts prior to his social media ban, and that is that having multiple women, every king and every sultan since the dawn of time had multiple women, etc., etc. One thing he doesn't seem to address is that most kings and emperors and sultans since the dawn of time also engaged in sexual activity with men. Julius Caesar, I believe he was supposedly bummed by the Ottoman emperor and was mocked by it, but it wasn't, a lot of the time in these cultures, it wasn't necessarily about homosexuality and having partners with men, and more about power. So the more powerful man would be the man doing the penetration. And even in the harems and the concubine, the groups of women that these emperors and sultans would have, there would be slim, effeminate young boys who would be ripe for the pickings or would be there for the emperor's pleasure. And yet none of that is actually acknowledged by Andrew Tate, and yet it's quite easy to find by a few Google searches that homosexual activity has been around for centuries, and certainly every emperor, every king and every sultan, most probably, maybe not all, but engaged in some form of homosexual activity. But obviously he won't bring that up in his speeches because it goes against his narrative. Anyway, back to whatever clip I've interrupted.
There is no such thing in this country as a Muslim area.
Show some respect.
Show some respect.
Show some respect.
Have you read this book?
For people.
Have you read this book?
There are over a billion people.
There are 100 verses in this book that incite violence and murder against us.
Show some damn respect for people's religious beliefs, right?
We had quite a divisive figure on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, Tommy Robinson. You may well have heard of him.
I know him. He's a Luton guy. I know him very well.
That's why I brought it up, because you lived in Luton. I mean, did you ever bump into Tommy? Ever have any experiences with Tommy, or is it just a name?
You can message Tommy right now and say you're talking to Tate, and he'll be like, "Oh, Tate, we're best." I've hung out with Tommy untold times, and without getting too deep into the politics of it, because I'm not saying I disagree with him or agree with him, but I'll tell you something: he's a solid guy. He means what he says. He's got a good heart. He's honest.
Now, this could be interpreted many ways, and it may seem like I've cherry-picked this, but it just goes into the fact that I'm not ready to believe in his true conversion to Islam, and that Tate is willing to push and co-opt every cause which benefits him. He won't even make a comment on the Taliban when he's being interviewed by Piers Morgan.
And they hear you not commit to saying the Taliban shouldn't be banning women from university education. Why can't he just say that's wrong?
Well, firstly, that's not my experience. I experience the absolute and utter opposite of that. Secondly, it's because it's a moral point I'm making. My moral point is I speak on things I understand. I speak on experiences I've had.
Would you believe in equality?
Yes. Sure. I speak on subjects I know intimately. I do not.
There are plenty of subjects which Andrew Tate drones on about, which he's not an expert. Let's just be, as successful as he is, let's be honest. He's a kickboxer turned pimp who extols views on right-wing philosophy, finance, crypto, Western governments, lots of things, government policy, lots of things that he isn't an expert in, lots of things he has no real experience in. These are his opinions. He's not a politician. He's run illegal businesses, or he's run businesses with illegal practices, such as the webcam thing. So he's got very little experience to give all this life advice to people, tell you how you should be. He's a kickboxer turned pimp who potentially has opened a casino with the Eastern European Mafia, and then has happened to sell some shit courses on body language, and then due to the TikTok algorithm has got a successful online school, which is a Discord group with slideshows and videos of him talking utter crap, things you could easily find out for free on YouTube. So he speaks endlessly on topics that he's not an expert in, and he doesn't really know a great depth about, in my opinion.
Feel qualified. I'm a realist, and I do not feel qualified to sit and discuss the gender laws in Afghanistan. I have not been to Afghanistan. I have not researched the subject thoroughly. I'm not going to sit here and say how the Taliban should be running their country. It's nothing to do with me.
But you could give an opinion, and the reason you won't give an opinion is because it alienates the people he's going after and trying to make money from. So he's after right-wing radical Muslims who fit into his box of misogyny and whatever else it is. So he can't say that, well, yeah, of course, it'd be, you know, they should let their women go to university. I don't know why he can't say that, but he feels he can't because it must be because he feels like he'll alienate part of his audience who are going to pay him lots of money. But he at least condemned the heroin trade. Like, he could say something about the Taliban. He doesn't say one negative comment. Like, the heroin trade, it's everybody knows.
The Taliban actually stopped almost all of the heroin production. But they changed their mind when they saw the money.
Why can't he say, I believe that they should let the girls and women go to school, go to university, and say that the heroin stuff's bad, or anything. He won't do it because it alienates his audience, his new audience, where he's shifting his focus. Again, this is going to look a bit cherry-picked, and anyone can say he's changed, he's a changed man, but this is the kind of person he is.
Money isn't real. None of this is real.
This is just...
It's free. It's free.
What do you mean free?
Free money. Lose it all.
Andrew, I know you said money isn't real, but I am getting fucked.
Money's not real.
So we are clipping things. Yes, we are cherry picking things. It seems like we are removing context, but is that the actions of a good Muslim? One of God's favourites? A man who lives with a pure heart and doesn't scam people? No, I don't think so. I think he's trying to portray himself as a good Muslim, as a devout person, as a good force for good, and really he's out for his own ends, in my opinion. And that's an important message to get across.
I'm one of God's favourites.
Why would you say I'm one of God's favourites? Like, this alienates everybody else. To be a good Muslim, he would have to distance himself from his OnlyFans business, which he won't, and he's going to come and make a public statement saying he's away from the casinos, he's away from the OnlyFans business, but Tristan's still probably going to run it in the background. All the money's going to go into a central account or an account offshore, and it's all going to be a lie. How's he going to remove himself from the mafia-run casino franchise? Is he just going to give it up? Probably not. And would he be honest about it? Probably not. He'd have to remove all the stock and crypto element from Hustlers University. Is he going to do that? Probably not. It's all too much for a man of his character. In my opinion, he has shamelessly adopted the Islamic faith for his own ends, his own financial gain, but make your own mind up at the end of the day. But that's my opinion. Let's have a rundown of a final few clips.
The largest benefit to the real world is direct access to professors
who are taught by millionaires that answer your questions. They give you everything on a silver platter.
It may be impossible to not make money if you follow what they say.
So the real world.
So from that segment, what's clear is that there's two things on the Matrix. First, Tate seems to have no knowledge of copyright law. Now, yes, there's fair use, like most of this video will take advantage of the fair use policy because we're commentating, using it for either educational or reporting purposes, news purposes. But he's using this to promote his business, to promote his course, to promote Hustlers University. And if you start using music and films and film clips to promote your business, then surely whoever owns the rights to the Matrix, Warner Brothers, whoever it is, are going to want to come after him for that. And it wouldn't surprise me if something like a copyright lawsuit would eventually be brought against him. Secondly, in terms of his constant use of the Matrix, is that the Matrix as a film and a franchise is seen as a shining beacon of hope and as a symbol of positivity for the trans community, as his next clip will show.
Hello, Lily Wachowski here. I'm glad that people are talking about the movies, the Matrix movies, with a trans narrative. I love that how meaningful those films are to trans people, and the way that they come up to me and say, these movies saved my life.
So Andrew Tate is using a film written by two trans women with trans-applicable narrative to promote his scam of a university to disaffected men. And I suppose that argument could go both ways, in that he's using it actually to promote anti-trans, anti-gay, anti-whatever. But the fact of the matter is he still co-opted a trans narrative for his super alpha male course and way of life, which is a bit odd. in some ways.
Do we need slaves though? Because
Yes,
obviously
we do.
we need people to work and do those jobs that obviously the free people can't do.
And this is the full circle realization when you get to the point where, as frustrating as it was, you need this slave class of people who buy bullshit so that I don't have to do bullshit stuff.
So if you are buying Tate's courses, you are part of the slave force and you are paying him so that he doesn't have to do the bullshit stuff. He's talking about you. He's talking to you. You are his slave force. But if you're unsure about Tate, I've got one final rundown, which I'll just go through now. He's publicly admitted both tax evasion and tax avoidance, one of which is completely illegal. The other one definitely would be if it's going to be involving proceeds of crime. He publicly admits coercing women into the webcam industry with his bottom bitch, and that you may have to make these women love you, and that you have to make these women love you, and that they can't have other boyfriends, they can't have other influences and control over their mind. He publicly admits to scamming the people using his webcam streaming service and lies via the chat, WhatsApp, and God knows how, even make lies in person, because he says there was at least one public meeting. He publicly admits to hiding money in crypto wallets. He publicly admits crypto is a scam and NFTs make you a nerd, despite over half his professors teaching crypto and investing and one of them having a bored ape as his picture. He publicly admits to opening a casino franchise with Eastern European Mafia, despite all casinos are known for money laundering vessels, and especially ones run by criminal mafia organizations. There is a money laundering clip I've missed somewhere.
I'm the guy that people can come to that can fix things. So I have a lot of people with a lot of money who will come to me and say, look, the war's going on, I need to get someone out of Russia into Europe. Or look, I got to move this money here. That in a very legal way, I know enough people to help do those things. So I can make a lot of money with that.
So overall, he's aired his dirty laundry in public. So in terms of that specific clip on the money laundering, yes, you might be able to move money from one country to another. You might be able to move from one account to another. And Andrew Tate was clearly probably a very valuable asset. He's an American citizen. I'm assuming he's a British citizen. He can travel to and from with those passports, and he's got accounts in both countries. He could easily smuggle he's also rich. He could easily smuggle a $250,000 to $1 million watch across borders, and then God knows where it'll end up. So he would be a valuable asset for organised crime because of his kind of high profile, his background and his passports, etc. So you may be able to legally move the money, but where it becomes illegal is if the money you're moving is coming from an illicit source. And just saying, well, I don't know where it came from, or, well, I didn't know he was a criminal, isn't going to protect you. If you're still on the fence about whether you're part of the slave class, who you are, why he's being successful, should you follow Andrew Tate, the answer is no. And I'm not saying all his message is bad. Obviously, he interweaves general basic philosophy on how to live your life, be happy, be a man, and the struggles that men face in the modern world. Yeah, of course he does. But there are other places to get that message, and I don't think Andrew Tate is a good place to get that. And I certainly don't suggest you go and give up the 9-to-5 or join Hustlers University. I think you should find your own purpose in life. But why has he been so successful? There's a video from Jordan Peterson, which I'm going to stick at the end, in terms of the population of the world. So Andrew Tate has amassed, some support online. Other people are jumping on the Andrew Tate bandwagon because they can take bits of his message and the way he's been censored and use it for their own ends. But the fact of the matter is, we do need a slave force. The world is a crazy place at times. There are a vast swathes of society who are ignored and who are forgotten, and Andrew Tate has taken advantage of that. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
So the more repetitive jobs people with lower IQs are more suited to more repetitive jobs. Under 87, is there something? Well, no. Right. That's a big problem, and it's something our society has not addressed at all. Jobs for people with IQs of less than 85 are very, very rare. So what the hell are those people supposed to do? It's like it's 15% of the population. What are they supposed to do? Well, we better figure it out, because one of the things that's happening too is that as the high IQ tech geeks get a hold of the world, the demand for cognitive power is increasing, not decreasing, right? You want to be a teller? Well, those checkout machines, they're not so simple. You want to work at McDonald's? You think that's a simple job? You don't see robots working at McDonald's. And the reason for that is that what McDonald's workers do is too complex for robots to do. So Well, so this is a discussion that no one wants to have, but that's okay. It's still a problem, and it has to be dealt with. So the U.S. government, I think I told you this at one point already, it's illegal to induct anyone into the U.S. Army if they have an IQ of less than 83, right? It's about 10% of the population. Because the U.S. Army, and they've been doing IQ testing since IQ testing began, because they want everybody they can possibly get into the Army, because in peacetime, they use it as a way of moving people up the socioeconomic ladder, and in wartime, well, obviously, you need as many soldiers as you can get your hands on. And so you're not going to be any pickier than you have to be. So when the U.S. Army says it's illegal to induct anybody into the armed forces if they have an IQ of less than 83, then you know that they've done it for absolute necessity, right? And when people have made a finding that contradicts what they want to hear and they're doing it out of absolute necessity, you can be reasonably true that it's one of those facts that just won't bloody well go away. And so you might think, well, if there's nothing for someone with an IQ of less than 83 to do in the Army, what makes you think that there's something that they can do in the general population? And then the issue is, because the conservatives will say, well, they should just work harder. It's like, sorry, that ain't going to fly. And the liberals will say, well, there's no difference between people anyhow, and you can just train people to do everything. And that's wrong. So they're both wrong, and they're seriously wrong. And the fact that neither side of the political perspective will take a good, cold, hard look at this problem means that we're going to increasingly have a structural problem in our societies, because we're complexifying everything so rapidly that you can't find employment unless you're intelligent. You guys are really going to face this. Lawyers are disappearing like mad. And the reason for that is, you can look it up online. Increasingly, you can do things yourself if you're smart. And so, like, the working class people have been wiped out pretty nicely over the last 30 years by automation and various other things. It's the low end of the white collar class that's coming up next. So I'm not saying that lawyers are in the low end, but low end lawyers are in the low end of the white collar class. So there's still going to be plenty of positions for people who are creative and fast on their feet and super smart. In fact, those people are going to have all the money, and that's already happening to a great degree.
I'm a billionaire.
Alex.